All right, welcome everybody, whether you're here live or watching the replay. All right, so tonight we're doing, it's cooking with oils, and at the last minute, I changed the name to cooking and baking with oils, because some people love baking, and I'm not one of them, but my daughter definitely loves baking, so there's lots of opportunity to use the oils in baking. So Steph and I have prepared a little presentation, so we're going to use that, and we'll also be holding up some oils, like for example, so you guys can see the size difference. This is a 15 ml bottle. That's pretty much the standard, 250 drops of oil. And this is a 5 ml. So obviously it's 1/3 the size. This is cinnamon, and cinnamon is one of the things we talk about. I put it in my coffee. It's so amazing. I love it so much, but you have only 1 drop. There's a hot tip for everybody. Don't put too much. I also love lemongrass, which is not in the presentation. So by the way, lemongrass is amazing in a hot drink. So like in a hot water as a tea, mix it with coconut cream for a curry, like a Thai curry. So amazing. Also, side note, really good for joint pain and things like that. So that's one of the things I love about the oils: multi-purpose, emotional benefits, body benefits. And tonight we're going to be talking about cooking benefits. Okay, so I'm going to screen share. If you guys just mute yourselves if you can, if just in case there's background noise, and I'll screen share with you. Here we go. Okay. Here it comes. You should just be able to, in a minute, just see the screen, the presentation on your screen. Thumbs up, you guys got it? Yeah, that's interesting. I still see all your faces, which I love, but it does block for the replay. It does block the view. Let me see. Oh, I fixed it. That's a good tip. Now I can just see myself. But unmute yourselves, guys, if you have anything to say. We're really just sharing this with anyone else who wants to learn about cooking and baking with essential oils. So let's go. Amazing. So for those of you that don't know me, this is a picture of me holding 2 of my favorite oils, which are not cooking oils: Copaiba, which is for the chill out oil, and Neroli, the oil of connection. Anyway, who am I? Natalie Cutler-Welsh, speaker and business coach, author, mother of 2 teens and a tween, oil geek, human design coach, super connector. I actually should add in here, I'm also one of the founders of doTERRA in New Zealand. So I've been going for, I don't know, it must be 9 or 10 years now. Pretty much about a year after doTERRA came to New Zealand, I think I jumped on board, and I'm one of the founders. So that just means I have a lovely large team of amazing people doing doTERRA with me. And 80% of the people that use doTERRA are just customers because it's such an awesome product, which we're going to talk about today. The goal of this specific class is really empowerment, like everything we do. It's an education-based product, so we love to share information, and we often will do mini workshops online or in person, which have a different theme or focus. So sometimes we'll talk about like sleep and stress, and we'll only talk about those oils. And sometimes we'll talk about like a happy, healthy home, and we'll talk about the top 10 oils for a happy, healthy home. Well, tonight we're going to look at cooking, baking. So this is for you if you already have doTERRA oils in your life, and maybe you haven't really been using them, or there's some of them that you just forgot what they're for. So I'm saying dust off your essential oils. Or if you're new to doTERRA oils, it's like open your eyes to them tonight, learning how to use your oils in the kitchen for cooking, baking, snacks, and drinks. And that's what we're going to focus on. And that is Steph's area of expertise. So in a moment, I'm going to be handing to her. But we always start a class by talking about 3 super cool things about oils. So over on the left-hand side, they are safe, which I love. They are like not addictive. So no side effects, no addictions. They are all natural, pure and natural, made from plants, either the stem, the root, or the leaf of a plant, or the flower. They're certified pure tested grade, which means they're tested 3 different ways by third-party testing, which means you're going to get pure oils. We don't want to get oils that have been tainted or have substances added to them that aren't natural. So you're going to get the pure product. And that's why doTERRA, which means gift of the earth, is the oil brand that I've always been with and I recommend. So peppermint, for example, which we're going to talk about tonight, is one of the single oils. Now, we also have a whole bunch of blends, and On Guard is an example of a blend where it's like clove oil in there and other, I can't even remember what else is in On Guard, but On Guard is our resilience blend. We're not really talking about that tonight, but the main point is safe, effective. They work super, super fast. So On Guard, if you've got like a sore, scratchy throat, you can put it in the diffuser. You can put it in your water, drink it, gargle with it, and also rub it topically on your throat as well. They're also super affordable because there's 250 drops. If you do the math and you look at how pure and potent they are, you only need a small amount. So they go a really, really long way. So we write down here, more affordable than traditional medical care, and actually works out to be pennies per dose. And the example they have is lavender. Lavender actually is our #1 seller, and I think the vitamin range is #2. All right. There's 3 ways to use essential oils. For some of you, this is going to be, you already know this. This is just a refresh. For some of you, it's new. So we just want to highlight there's 3 different ways you can use your oils. Aromatic, which means breathing them in. So either in the diffuser, which is behind me. Julie, can you just mute yourself? Or Steph, can you mute everybody other than me? That'd be great. Aromatically means dropping them in your hand, rubbing your hands together, breathing in. And you can just smell the aroma. It goes into your system, and then you can rub it if you want topically behind your neck, getting it into your brain stem. Sometimes if we're using them topically, we actually advise adding a coconut oil, which is a carrier oil, and then rubbing them topically on your body. And we say, go to the source of the problem. So that was lemongrass. If I had a sore shoulder, which I actually do, then I would put probably the lemongrass with coconut oil, and I would probably layer it, like put on top the ice blue rub on top of that. So whenever we're using them topically, we go to the source of the problem. If we have a sore tummy, we put the Gen Zest or Digest Zen oil on our tummy. If we have a sore throat, we put the On Guard oil on the sore throat, but we always dilute it with that coconut oil. So that's our aromatic topical. And the third way we call flavoring or as a food additive. And that's really what we're going to be focusing on tonight. And I've already mentioned you can add it to water, but you can also add it to your food and your cooking. All right, so at this point, I'm going to hand over to Steph. Steph had joined me in doTERRA. I'm pretty sure she was either my first or my second customer ever. And now I have about 4,000 people on my team. They're not all my customers. There's some of them are my customers. So it's really awesome. Steph and I have been doing doTERRA together for about 9 years, I guess. And Steph is a What's for Dinner mentor. That's her business name, What's for Dinner. Her offering. She's also a Thermomix consultant, a mother of 2, and she's newly a grandmother. She's an essential oil wellness advocate and a vegetarian, and of course, many, many other things. So Steph, I'm going to hand over to you to just carry on with the presentation. I'll click for you. Just let me know when you want me to click.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Yes, I love how the oils can multitask. I like lots of things that multitask. I like hairdos that multitask. I just like a few options, things to be open. So I love the way that you might get an oil for something specific, but there's always a myriad of other uses for it as well. So, with the costs of everything, let alone food at the moment, I think, we're all looking at ways to save costs. And when I'm looking at my meal planning and all that side of things, I say to people, eat in season. That's going to save you money for starters. It all means less pesticides and things. If you're eating locally, all that sort of thing, you can impact on your health that way. And how many times have you bought fresh herbs? You use them for one meal and then you watch them wilt before you get to use them. I find that a constant source of irritation. And to spend $4 on one little piece of lemongrass every time I want to make a Thai curry paste or something like that kind of irks me. There is a solution. You make your pastes and then you freeze it in cubes, and then you don't have to have that worry anymore. So I've got little flavor bombs happening in my freezer with oil, with coriander in it. Things like that. So the oils are a great way to tap into that as well. I mean, look, here's one of my jars of my mini herbs. This is a blend I made up, which is called herbs or herbe de Provence, which is basically, the things like oregano, thyme, basil. Look, if I had that many containers, and I do have quite a few containers and blends that I have made, but when you compare it to the size of an essential oil, I've got to the point, if I'm going on holiday, like I am this weekend, up to Russell, to my friend's batch, I will take my oils rather than the herbs, because her herbs are so old up there, they're not going to do much good anyway. And they take up less space in my luggage. So, sometimes, we do need ingredients in our recipes for the liquid consistency. Let's say, lemon, you can't replace lemon juice. The lemon that we've got in here, is lemon zest. So you're thinking, like with like. Having said that, the other day when I made the hummus, it was, I ran out of my pouch of lemon juice from the supermarket. So I topped it up with a little bit of this, knowing that had more wow factor, because it's kind of more flavor in a way, having that zest option as well. So yes, sometimes we need ingredients for the aesthetics, whether it be a lemon zest or whatever. But when we look at recipes, you can, it's common sense. You can kind of play around and have a bit of fun with it. So there's lots of benefits of using essential oils in cooking, like we've listed there. Unique as far as flavor and intensity of flavor, being cost effective, the convenience, which I alluded to just before, and then we've got the bonus of of the health benefits. So you could think of them as friends with benefits, health benefits. So when we talk about intense flavor, a little really goes a long way. And with some of them, you want to be getting a toothpick and doing it that way, but more about that a bit later. Dried herbs like these have lost much of their oil due to evaporation. So a lot of their flavor is lost as well. So essential oils are basically offering us a concentrated, pure flavor, and a little goes a long way. A bit like I was saying to Nat before, a bit like putting on blusher. Start with a tiny bit, you can add more, but it's very hard to subtract without going back to scratch, and you do not want to waste your food. So as far as cost effective goes, citrus oils cost between about 5 and 6 cents per drop, and 1 to 3 drops of citrus oil equals about a zest from the whole fruit. So herb oils are more like, I'm just going to check, I've got my facts, I'm not a detail person, 6 to 12 cents a drop, and super concentrated, and fresh herbs $5 to $6 a bunch. So like I said before, the plants go off flipping quickly, which is frustrating, and oils can be used year round. We don't have to wait for them to come in season. So that's where they really come into their own. When limes are $39.95 a kilo, I'm doing food demos all the time. It can cost me a fortune if I still go lemon zesting stuff. I might just subtly put a drop of lime into a combination. Convenience. So like I said before, less space, all that sort of thing. And then you've got all the myriad bonus of all the health benefits. Now you can see, took a photo of that image. So oils, all the different oils that can be used. You can probably read that for yourself. So there's the sweet spice oils, which are more for the desserts, the baking, and some of them cross over into using them in savory cooking as well. The things like basil, black pepper is one. There's even a pink pepper. And then there's cilantro versus coriander, which is stems versus the leaves. So a lot in there. And I digress a bit. What appealed to me initially with doTERRA was the fact that they're all ethically sourced. So they're empowering a lot of communities out of poverty. So that was a biggie for me. And as Nat was saying before, great for food, for cooking and baking, also for drinks. Think cocktails. At the live class we did last week, someone bought the green mandarin to go with their G&T and is reporting back how much he's enjoying his G&Ts. I think he said he had a third, and he said, I better stop now. So anyway, so the food, lots of savory things. So, when you think of potatoes, what would you cook with potatoes? What herb would you associate with potatoes?
Oh, it's a quiz.
Yes, a quiz.
Rosemary.
Exactly. So just think about it. Maybe get some ghee or some oil, add a drop of rosemary, or you could add some black pepper maybe. Maybe you want some lemon, you know, have some fun with it, mix it up, and then toss your potatoes in it, and then just see how it's coming out. And then, you know, my favorites often are citrus oils. As a teen and in my early 20s, I'd had a lot of sinus issues, and I got taken to the specialist who cauterized my nose, which then made it super sensitive to any sort of smell. And so citrus came into its own. My dad had a pharmacy, and a lot of the perfumes would just set me off sneezing, but the men's ones were more heavily on citrus. So whenever a woman was coming to look for perfume for her husband, I'd say, oh, just put it on me, oh, Sauvage, yes, I'll have some of that. You know, and citrus far easier and less allergy related is what I've found over the years. So, you know, bergamot is not one as I'm so familiar with, but, you know, you've got grapefruit, lemon, lemongrass, lime and orange, and there's even tangerine and was it yellow mandarin, I think, as well. So and then if you're thinking sweet, you know, what sort of things might you cook sweet? You know, think custard. What could you put into custard? Well, I'd probably look at a drop of that Madagascar vanilla, give that one a go. Lemon is always a good one. Cooking from scratch made easy is what I'm passionate about. And I know, try and make your own custard. Don't buy that Edmonds stuff. It's got yellow dye in it. Why would you do that if you can just put some lemon zest in and you get the color anyway? No, you know, no problem. As far as baking, I would tend to use wild orange, one of the most. Peppermint's another good one if you're doing little bliss balls and things. Lime, grapefruit, yeah, all sorts of possibilities. You're only limited by your imagination, really. So another thing I make as a really quick and easy breakfast is you do a quarter of a green apple. It's called Cada. So it's coconut, almonds, dates, apples. But instead of using the dates, because that's quite sweet, and being vegetarian, I'm always looking at ways to boost my protein. I use the doterra vegan protein powder now, because I was using another protein powder and they weren't clear, or they're a bit cagey about some of their ingredients. So I walked away from that, and I loved it when doTERRA came out, especially with the vegan option. So I just will add a drop, you know, I can add a drop of green mandarin, whatever I want, or I add blueberries, or I add, you know, so I can enhance the flavors is what I'm trying to say, and I can change it up and down. So, you know, here's one of the balls, little bliss balls are made for, this is a raw chocolate brownie.
Yeah.
Basically dates, I think I put it in the chat, I think it was dates, coconut, I think. Yeah, well, anyway, I added wild orange to it, and that was the most popular one when I made those the other day for our workshop. So I won't stuff it in my mouth right now. Oil substitution guidelines. So how much oil to substitute for a herb depends on which kind of family of herbs it is, because some of them are far more potent than others. And like I said before, sometimes it's safest when you are starting out to just use a toothpick. Another thing that will make it milder is if you use it during the cooking process, particularly for the herbaceous oils like basil, coriander, what else? Rosemary, oregano, marjoram, all those sort of ones. If you're cooking and it's going through the heating process, you'll get a far milder flavoring. And then at the end, you can always, if it's not strong enough for you, add the toothpick thing and just give it a little swirl around, see how you go. Because, you know, just like adding chilies to food, people have different palate, you know, and what they can cope with and not cope with. Another thing to keep in mind is the oil flavors tend to get stronger the longer the food or beverage has had to steep. But like my tea I just poured, which has got some lemongrass and ginger in it. So the longer you leave something, so you in the fridge or whatever, it will just get more potent. So yeah, be aware. So you're better to add it just before you eat it. In that case, I'm just going to skim through to make sure I haven't missed anything out that I wanted to tell you about here.
While you're doing that, Steph, I'll just share a quick story. Early on in my doTERRA life, my husband he used to do more cooking, and he was putting some oregano in the pasta sauce. And I was like, babe, it's super strong. Like, seriously, just this one drop. And really what you're meant to do with oregano is the toothpick thing, which means you literally put it in the jar and you just use the toothpick, or the teaspoon. So you put a drop on the teaspoon, then you go to the sink and you flick the spoon. So most of it flicks away into the sink, and then you just stir like the remnants, the residue. But anyway, he's like, it's fine, no problem. And he's shaking the bottle and he's like, and I'm like, oh my God, we literally had to throw out the pasta sauce. Like, we could not eat it. So you can learn from my experience. Just like less is more, especially with some of those super hot oils, like oregano is really, really strong. Anyway, there you go. The pasta sauce story. It's really good. Just don't use too much.
You do it once, don't you, Nat?
You only learn once.
But like a lot of my Thermomix customers who can't believe it will chop so fast, and they end up, instead of having chopped vegetables for a salad or a stir fry, they end up with soup or baby food, you know.
Yeah.
So always less is more. So lime, I love anything with lime in it. And all the citrus ones are the uplifting ones, remember? So that's always a bonus. I tend to put it on if I know somebody's coming who's been a bit down, or in one instance, someone's husband who had a bit of, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to use the D word.
You can use the D word.
Yeah, he was a bit down, and he wasn't taking his meds, and so when he came round, I'd put on Citrus Bliss, and and he'd go, "Oh, the place smells lovely, Steph." I go, No, nothing more was said. So now, as far as cooking tips go, we could probably type it out, but it's kind of reiterating some of the things. So the first thing is, you just know which part of the plant it comes from. So the citrus oils are pressed from the peel, so you don't have to worry about acidity. So that's where a lot of people, drunk water with lemon juice in it first thing in the morning, and now there's issues with enamel on their teeth. But you can rest assured, if you're drinking the lemon, you're not going to be damaging your teeth, because it's the rind. And also, this is another way to control having a dripper bottle. So a lot of my ones, I've got the dropper bottle. So it means I don't get 2 drops by accident. I'll get 1 drop, or I can, go really light on it.
So Steph, sorry, just to clarify with the dropper, it's not something they can buy. Like the lime just comes, the lime and the lemon, they all look the same, like with that lid, but you can buy the droppers separately from somewhere like Wholesale Aroma Supplies or Green Mandarin or one of those places. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And when you're trying to get 1 drop out, some of them are so much thicker than others. So, you can go from something that's kind of taking forever to go out. So you're holding on like this, waiting. And then the next one you get out, it's going, oh, you've got 5 drops in. So that just gives you a little bit more control. And also, even if it's got that dropper thing in, you've still got the hole, so that you can easily get a toothpick down there. Putting cooking oils, in the dropper bottles is the control thing. A little goes a long way. We've really covered that, so I won't go over that. Using glass or stainless steel. Don't use plastic, because it's going to eat into the surface. So that's important. You don't want to damage your cooking bowls and things if you've got plastic ones. Keep them away from light and heat and humid conditions. Then you get longer shelf life. And also it's okay to store in the fridge. Make sure you put the lids back on so that they're not evaporating away on you. Some of those drops, those 250 drops in the bottle. And because they're altered by heat and may evaporate, it's best to use the oils at the end of the cooking if possible. But like I said, some of the ones that are stronger, it can be prudent to try earlier on. Another thing that's quite cool to do is to have a little spritzer bottle. Like I've got an oil and vinegar bottle, and you can add a little drop to that to enhance some flavor. So think of it, spritzing that on, whether it be, sometimes if I make hummus, I will do the hummus and I'll decorate it with all sorts of things. It might be caramelized onions, it might be pomegranate, it might be like the other day I made some dukkha, and with the dukkha I put in 1 drop of thyme for the whole big batch. So things like tortilla chips, you can flavor in your own pita breads or whatever. French fries even, egg rolls, empanadas, loads of things. And last but not least, if you're baking with kids, make sure that the oils are out of their reach, because they tend to be heavy-handed and they might chuck them in their mouth and get too much. And I think the only other thing I'd add is, there's loads of recipes on the doterra site, but also Pinterest is another good source to find things, which I think Nikki might already be onto the case with that.
Oh, I took your advice last time.
Yeah. Yes. And just save them all in a folder on your Pinterest, and think of Pinterest as a search engine. It's a really valuable search engine. So I think that's probably enough from me.
Well, there's a few more slides coming up. This one here is from a video on the doterra website. You just go to shop. I just wrote in lime, and then on the lime, it has this video, and it's the ladies making ice cubes. She puts lime oil in, I guess, let's say a jug of water with lime oil, and she pours it in, and then she's putting a little small piece of actual lime as well for decor, and probably raspberries or something like that. So just some cool ideas to jazz up your drinks, and then also next level mocktails and cocktails like Sai was making. Green mandarin, one of my ultimate favorites. Like Steph said, anything citrusy I always do this, right? Anything citrusy is uplifting. So in terms of the mood benefits, anything from the wood oils is grounding. That helps you to be present and centered and grounded. We generally don't cook with the wood oils. But back to green mandarin, it is one of the more expensive citrus oils. So as you guys can see from the prices, you might have noticed, we want to be looking at not the retail price, because nobody pays retail. We want to pay wholesale price. But I think lemon is the cheapest. It's $17, I'm pretty sure. Can't remember what lime was, but the green mandarin is definitely probably double what most of the citruses are. But let me tell you, totally worth it. You're going to love it. You're going to get it and go, thank goodness I got myself a green mandarin. And then this is what Nikki found. Green mandarin parfait. 1 cup vanilla coconut yogurt, 2 drops green mandarin, 1 cup granola, berries of your choice, and serve. So it's just so you can make some really unique dishes that just taste like you feel like you're on holiday when you eat it.
My daughter is going to love this. She's
So
such
good.
a little baker and maker, and yeah.
That's so awesome. Yeah, kids love cooking, and cooking with oils is awesome. This is one of my other faves, which is I add it to the coffee. You can do the toothpick thing. I don't do that. I just let 1 drop come out. Sometimes you get 2 by mistake. But cinnamon actually is also good. I'm pretty sure it's good for blood pressure, but it's also really good for curbing your sugar cravings. In fact, cinnamon in a glass of water, even drinking it, can help you burn fat, apparently. But I love it because I love the flavor with the coffee. So yeah. So it's kind of one of my daily rituals. Obviously, look at that, $40, and it's quite a small bottle, it's a 5 ml, but it's going to last you for ages. Because you're not really using much. So if you were making gingerbread or gingerbread men or something like that, you might decide to, or biscuits, you might add some cinnamon to that as well. Amping up your coffee. Black pepper, also, like Steph said, we have pink pepper. So again, you can rub that on your fish or on your chicken, things like that. Salad dressings. I'm more of a salad dressing person. Black pepper is amazing for that. Spice up your salmon. This is not from Pinterest. This is a photo from one of our doTERRA retreats. A couple times a year, we do these doTERRA retreats, mainly focused for people who want to earn income and impact with doTERRA. So it's more of a business focus, but this is how we eat. This is how we live. And a lot of these have the oils in them, in the rice rolls, in the hummus, on the salmon and everything. So very, very cool. Basil is one that Steph mentioned when we did that class at her place the other day. I'll show you what she made. This is, again, not Pinterest. This is from Steph's house. And she's added these toppers to make it so she can control the drops. So I think she said in the hummus, she used the lemon. Sorry, Steph. And in the salsa, she used the basil. Is that right?
Yes, true. Yeah.
True that.
And
What about this thyme over here? What's happening with the thyme?
The dukkha had the thyme. So there's dukkha there.
Yeah.
And the thyme in it. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so that was pretty cool. So I just say, you can enrich your flavors. And so visually, it looks beautiful, but also smells amazing. So this is the dukkha that she made. There's the time going in. And these are the bliss balls. And I think you had 2 samples and people could, one was peppermint, I think, and one was wild orange.
Oh my
One had vanilla in it, but was very mild. And then I'd added more
Yeah,
wild orange for the taste, and the wild orange one.
it won. Yeah, it's so beautiful. And wild orange is like $18 or something. So what I'd love you guys to do that are here with us today, or if you're watching the replay, just do it for yourself, write something down. What are your top 3 cooking oils on your wish list at the moment? So maybe from the ones we've covered today, or maybe other ideas that you've got. Make a little note. And if you want to comment in the chat box or unmute yourself, let us know a couple of your cooking oils that you're excited to use. Maybe you already have them and you just need to dust them off, or maybe you're like, I'm going to order those. Does anyone want to unmute themselves and let us know?
While they're writing down, I'm looking at cinnamon
Yeah.
app. So what is it? Modern Essentials app. It's really worth having on your phone. I use it all the time. If someone is like last week, it was me with vertigo, and Nat looked up vertigo for me because I wasn't in a state to do it for myself. But people who have migraines or whatever, I look it up, screen grab it, send it to them, and help that way. And it's really nice tool to have.
Well,
Totally.
wild orange,
Yeah.
green mandarin, and basil.
Nice.
There's probably a lot more.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing. Like Steph was saying, if you have either any of the tools, the Modern Essentials app or the book, and you type in basil and you know what you can do with it for cooking, it's actually amazing for your adrenals. And you know where you'd put it? Back on your kidneys, topically with coconut on like behind your back. So many body benefits and emotional benefits and cooking flavor benefits of the oils, which is super cool. Okay, awesome. So the next thing I'd love you guys to think about, and when we run a standard workshop or class, we usually start with a question like this. What are 3 of your health concerns or your wellness priorities at the moment? So either priorities or problems. And we get people to list them out. You don't need to share them with everyone in the room, but when we're facilitating a workshop, we like to obviously cater to the people who have shown up. And if they have a specific injury, ailment, or emotion, we want to make sure that we can help them with that, because literally we say there's an oil for everything in doTERRA, which is so cool. So if anyone, maybe after I stop the recording, we might come back to this, and then it's just going to be the people in the room. We can share if anyone's got like, hey, like I had this morning for my daughter with her major period pain. It's like, hey, what do you have for this? What do you have for that? We have an oil for everything. So that's the cool thing. Once you get your doTERRA account, you get a few oils at your house, then you are empowered. If someone in your house or your friend down the road is struggling, you can literally be there to help them, which is actually a really cool feeling. Yeah. So have a little think about your 3 wellness priorities or health concerns.
Stephanie, what was that app called? I've got it, but I just need to find
Modern
it.
Essentials.
Well, that's right.
But one of the ones we didn't mention, Nat, which we probably should, because turmeric is considered a superfood, but look at the mess when you're trying to peel and cut it. I'm thinking from now on, when I make a green smoothie, I will put a drop of this in instead of going to the faff of trying to peel it. And
nice. I'm going to do that too. I had a green smoothie today. I use the doTERRA greens powder, which I'm going to show you guys in a moment. But I haven't thought about adding turmeric. So I love that idea. Okay, so this is another chance if anyone else wants to just unmute themselves or share one of your favorite oils. Doesn't have to be a cooking oil, just any oil that you love and how you've used it in your home. Does anyone want to share one?
I couldn't hear. Which oil do you use on your
smoothie?
Yeah.
It was turmeric.
Turmeric. Okay. I will try that.
Yeah.
But just as equally potentially put in some lemon, because I, love the citrus as well. I'd possibly put both of those in.
Yeah. So Lena, I know you've been an oil customer for a long time. Do you have any specific oils that you love?
Oh, I love the lavender. You know that I'm a lavender girl. But yeah, I didn't know about the cinnamon bark. I'm gonna get it because actually I drink lots of cinnamon tea with chamomile.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I will get the basil as well. So I never tried the basil. Instead
Yay.
of buying fresh basil. As she said, always I buy, I use like few leaves and then gone.
I was just looking on the Modern Essentials app at cinnamon, and it says, so this is properties: antibacterial, antidepressant, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, like so many benefits. It's just amazing. So, and I think it's one of the oils in the passion blend, which is not a food oil. That's more of a topical or aromatic oil, but cinnamon can help you have a little bit more like passion in your life, which is pretty cool. All right, I'll keep rocking through. Oh, Steph, did you want to talk about the crisp?
Well, yeah, I can, but I was just looking up basil because you'd mentioned basil, and wow, you just keep learning new things. I didn't know you could use it for frozen shoulder. I've had frozen shoulders, so
I have frozen shoulder. Is that what it says?
It says you can use it for frozen shoulder.
I'm going to do it.
Greasy hair.
I have greasy hair.
I have greasy hair.
I'm not meaning to insult you or anything. Infertility. Now, don't go there.
No, I'm all good.
Mental fatigue, migraines, mouth ulcers, ovarian cysts, so many different things. And you kind of think, oh, wow, carpal tunnel syndrome.
Yeah, I have that too, I think, a little bit at the moment from typing and like just from my frozen shoulder. Okay, I'm totally doing that. I have basil because I've got all the oils, so I'm all set.
So I've got a bit of that. So tape up your wrist. That really helped me the other day.
Interesting.
Okay, so yeah, I mentioned the protein powders before. Nat can talk to the greens because I haven't used that yet. Fiber is always important for your diet and getting things moving, to be polite. It's really important from a digestion point of view to have enough fiber in our diets, and we don't get as much as what our ancestors would have got. So ramping up your fluids combined with fiber, that's nature's way of cleaning out our digestive tract. So it's critical. And that's why fruit and vegetables are so important, because they've got the fiber. Meat doesn't have the fiber. Carbs don't have the fiber the same, but the fruit and the vegetables, that's where you're getting your natural spring clean of your digestive tract. I won't go into further gruesome details that I could, but protein powder, I've got the vanilla because I find that's a neutral. I can add whatever flavor. I tend to be a berry girl or a green smoothie girl. I know Nat's children really like the chocolate, as would my daughter. She's more a chocolate banana cacao type person. So just great options that are organic and clean. And I think that's when you're knowing what your ingredients are, which is what's important to me in cooking. So I cook from scratch with pretty much everything. So I know exactly what's going into my body. And when you eat things that are pre-packaged or processed, your body says no thanks. And what creeps in is with bought stuff. Say you buy a curry paste at the supermarket, is they tend to sneak in the bad oils and because they're cheaper and all that stuff. The Lifelong Vitality Pack, is anyone using it?
No.
I do use it for nearly 1 year now. I love it.
Good. Right. Well done.
I really like it.
What have you
made a
noticed,
huge
Lena?
difference to my energy level. So it's so much better since I started. It's great.
No. And I think I always ramp it up the first sign of feeling any, immune attack or, I just go for it. And I've not had a day off for a cold. I've never had the flu jab. You just listen to your body and you give it what it needs, and you don't usually have hiccups unless you get what I did last week with the vertigo.
You know what I was just noticing? I was looking up the greens because I wanted to know the price. So I get the protein powder for my kids. Yeah, I get the chocolate. They love it. My middle guy, he's 14. He just started going to the gym and he's getting into the protein powder. Ruby she's a triathlete, so they're into it. I use the greens and it's so amazing. It has like kale and I could read you the list. I don't have the bag with me, but amazing amount of greens that you would never eat. You just wouldn't have all of that goodness. And I just make it in a drink with water and stir it and drink it. And you can add lemon if you want. But literally the greens is like $73 Okay, it's going to last you a couple months, but look at this pack. This is the doTERRA nutrition pack, and you can choose either chocolate or vanilla for $289. That's the wholesale price. You get all of these things. Well, I was like, that's amazing.
Vitality pack. What is in that?
Which one?
The vitality. pack.
Actually, I'm so glad you asked because my next slide is all about that. So this
Ooh.
one, that's the one that Lena said she's been using for a year. She
Yes.
noticed her energy. So Lifelong Vitality is doTERRA's either number 1 or number 2. One of them's lavender, one of them's the vitamin range. Best seller. Okay, it says number 1 product. We have a 30-day money back guarantee. So that means people can try it without, if you don't love it and you're using it and you don't notice like some big changes, then you can just get your money back. But nobody does, because here's what they noticed: more energy, sleeping better, better mood. My hair and nails are stronger. This is the feedback we get. My skin is clearer. Yeah. And I'm just like less grumpy, that kind of stuff. So it's basically because the soils of today are so depleted. We don't have the nutrients that we require in the soils so therefore the food we eat is not as nutritious for us. And so this has, as you can see down here, antioxidant and DNA protection. It helps your eye, brain, and nervous system, liver function, digestive health, more energy, less discomfort, immune function, stress management, cardiovascular health, healthy inflammatory response. So what the idea is, you take all 3. So there's 3 bottles. And I think a full dose would be, is this right, you guys? 3 of each. So that's, wait, is it 3 of each? 3 times 3, 9? Maybe it's more than that a day. But what I would say is just get them. It's meant to last you 1 month. It's a 1-month supply. People put it in their cart as a loyalty order. So every month it shows up, and that means it helps them to stay accountable. They know it's always going to arrive in the post. And then now and then they'll just add a few oils, or maybe they'll add the shampoo, or maybe they'll add like the On Guard toothpaste to their order. And that's what a lot of people do. And that's why it is the number 1 product. It does have essential oils in it. And I'm pretty sure there's a vegan option you can get as well.
It's 2 in the
Have I
morning,
get-
2 late in the afternoon.
What's that?
2 in the morning
Mhm.
and the 2 late on the afternoon. But I have only 2 in the morning.
Okay, thank you. So it is 12 a day. So 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, but she's just doing the morning job. So that's awesome. So that's the Lifelong Vitality. We wanted to mention both of those product ranges to you guys because they do relate to nutrition and food. And now I'm going to get to the part where I talk about 3 ways to purchase doTERRA. Now, obviously, some of the people you guys that have shown up, you already have your doTERRA account. Some people watching will not have a doTERRA account. So I'm going to talk very briefly about 3 ways to purchase. Either log in because you already have your account and just add items to your cart. So those of you that are adding things to your wish list, you can just log in, add them to your cart. You can do it as what we call a standard order, which is just a one-off order, or you can do it as a loyalty order if you want to earn points, if you want to earn something, order at least 1 item a month. That's definitely the smartest way to grow your collection. Just, 1 or 2 or 3 oils a month, change it up. So one way to purchase is retail. Nope, nobody does that because why would you pay 25% more? The second way is to get your wholesale membership because you're going to save 25% off for a whole entire year. Anytime you order, whether it's a standard, like a one-off order or a regular order. Or what you can do is number 3, the wholesale plus the points, like I mentioned. And this way you can score freebies and you can save up to 55% because the longer you stay on the loyalty, the more percentage you earn back. So just to make it super simple, we say to people, you either want to start with a pick and mix order or one of the starter packs. And a pick and mix order is, for those of you guys in New Zealand, most of you are, it's $40. I think it's 35 Australian. I think if people are in America, it's $30. But basically, there's like a one-off fee, which is $40. And then you can just pick and mix and you just add things to your cart. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, I definitely want to get some cooking oils, there's no starter pack for cooking. So I would definitely suggest you do the $40 wholesale account. And then you add your oils to that. The link that you use is important. So go back to the person that invited you to this training or the person that's been nurturing you along or showing you about doTERRA, because they will have, if they're doing the business, they will have a unique URL, like a unique website link that they want you to use or their ID number to make sure that you can become their customer. So make sure you go back to that person. We're really big on that. So we can support you to support them. So that's a pick and mix. The other way to do it is to grab one of the starter packs. And for people like Lena, I know you've been with doTERRA for a while. They recently just updated this kit a little bit. So this is the Home Essentials Starter Pack. It's got the top 10 oils. I would say this is more of a family wellness first aid, cuts and scrapes, bumps and bruises, coughs and colds type pack. Now it also has lemon, which you could use in cooking. And it also has peppermint, which you could use in cooking. But like I said, that's a really great one. It just added the balance oil and also the eucalyptus oil to that pack. So that's amazing. Comes with a little mini coconut oil and no diffuser. And so you can see the price here. You can add a diffuser if you want to. So they have different kits in different countries, but we ship to over 100 countries all over the world. So if you're watching this and you think, oh my gosh, my cousin in India would love this, it's like, yeah, they can definitely order doTERRA as well. They just added this simple solution starter pack. So this would be what I would say the cheapest way to get started. And I would say that's probably a really good way to start if you want more of the health and wellness stuff. So it's not a cooking pack. It's $145. So you don't have to pay the $40. You don't have to pay $10 shipping. You get something. Oh, I've got one here behind me. The muscle rub. So something for sports, lemon for cleaning, detox, cooking, etc. On guard for the immunity and the sore throats and coughs and colds, and lavender peace, which is like lavender with clary sage and ylang ylang. It's beautiful for your sleep and stress. So that is an amazing starter pack for anyone that just wants to get started if your focus is more body, health, and wellness, not so much cooking. Okay, and then of course you can add on and you can look at our diffuser. We have this other wooden diffuser, and at the moment, but not always, they have the Brevi diffuser available. At the moment, this is sold out. It's a portable diffuser. So you can add on a few extra things to your order or just add them to your wish list. I did have somebody enroll with this pack the other day, so I wanted to show you guys that it's a thing. And especially if someone's thinking of doing doTERRA as a business, I would be like, this is a really great way to start, set yourself up for success. But this is the Nature Solutions, which is great for someone that just wants to detox their whole home and just get rid of any of the toxic soaps or cleansers or sprays or spritzes or anything like that they've been using. And it has a whole bunch of amazing oils in it. And here's your price, $7.10. So have a little think about how you guys want to get started. Or obviously, if you already have an account, you can still order one of those starter packs anytime. Now, some of you guys that are watching might be thinking, well, I've got a few friends that might be into it. So if you want to host a class, just get in touch with whoever invited you along, and we can set you up to help host a class either online or in person, and then get some little gifts, hostess gifts and freebies and things like that. Just to wrap up here, guys, there's normally three types of people that kind of get into doTERRA. One is people that just want to live the doTERRA lifestyle, like literally just a customer, just want to live the lifestyle. Two is people that they want to share, like you're sitting here listening to us and you're thinking, oh my gosh, my sister would love this, and my brother-in-law would be really benefit, or my nephew would really benefit from this. So suddenly you're thinking of people in your life. So maybe you want to like share the oils, maybe you want to host a class once or twice a year, or maybe you want to like just flick a URL link to a few friends and get your products paid for. The third type of people is people that want to build a business and they want to earn income as well as make an impact in the world. So you guys can type in the chat box if you want, or just make a little note to yourself if you think you're a number one or a number two or number three. So next steps, for those of you that came along, just get back in touch with the person who invited you. You can pick and choose a pick and mix order kit or one of the classic starter packs. And for those of you that are keen to learn, if you ticked either 2 or 3, you want to share or build, then at the 10 minutes at the end of the class after the Q&A, we will be here and we can talk about how to get started, how to build your doTERRA business. Awesome. So actually, for those of you that are still with me, I'll just come back to you for Q&A, and then I'll carry on just for those of you that want to hear a little bit more about the business. I'll come back. So I'll just come back to the screen now. I'm going to pause the recording for the Q&A. You can ask them. So here we are. I'm just going back to the screen share. You guys can see it? Yeah. Can you guys see it okay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is back to where I said, stick around for 10 minutes. So we're going to talk very briefly about the joy of sharing oils. And one of the things that is a really great thing to think about, often I say to people, if they say, tell me about doTERRA and how do I might want to add it to my business, or I might want to start a business, or even less intense than that. They're like, oh, how do I share it with a few friends? I often say, there's 4 reasons why people do want to do doTERRA, and it's community, flexibility, finances, and impact. Those 4 reasons come, and usually it's 1 or 2 that kind of bubble to the top. So you guys can have a little think about that for yourself. But another good question to ask is like, okay, well, how much time is involved, right? Because we all have only so much time and energy, right? So a great way to think about it is over on the left, I want my oils paid for, right? So it's like, I want my oils paid for. I'd love to just share oils with enough people that it ends up having enough, doTERRA dollars coming into my account that I can use those doTERRA dollars to buy my oils every month and just grow my collection, replace things I run out of. Lemon oil, you'll probably run out of pretty quickly. Oregano, you'll probably have it for 4 years. Some will go quicker than others. And it gives you some timelines, about how long that might take and how many hours it might be. Other people, I want to supplement my income. Like I actually would love to add additional income, maybe, $500 or $1,000 a month to my income. Okay, well, what does that look like for you? Maybe more than that, $5,000. What does that look like for you? Or other people, I want to replace my income. So some people are like, I'm so sick of my job. I am so done, or whatever. And they want, or maybe their husband got made redundant and suddenly they're like, okay, now I need to earn something. And they might want to replace that income with their own income. And so basically, I guess my point is we always nurture people to their goal and we help them at the pace that works for them. So it's just good for you guys if you're curious, not even interested, but even just curious, thinking about, well, how much time feels good to you, feels in alignment to you to be dedicating to doTERRA and then growing, a little bit of a side income for yourself or creating a bit of residual income, which is always amazing. So that's just something to think about. Oh, look, Nikki, I put a picture of you. So I always say to people, talk to the person who invited you along to this class or who sent you the video, and they will walk you through some next steps about how to get started. And here's Nikki and I when she came up from Nelson, and we got together in real life, and it was so much fun. And then Nikki, who always loved oils because she has a skincare range of her own, and she's a counselor, like counseling people through their life challenges. And I was like, listen, this is perfect for you just to add to what you're already doing. So one of the things I want to show you guys is how easy it is to basically create your own doTERRA website. Well, it does it for you. So when you log in, you literally go to my online store and you just update it with your photo. You change the URL to what you want. It will normally be set as a default to your name. So I used to have mine as Go-To Girl. I just updated it because I'm bringing everything into alignment. Mine is Up Your Brave. So people just go to mydoterra.com/upyourbrave, and it takes them to, I'll show you what gets made for you, your very own website. So the languaging I use with people is if you want to set up your own shop, let me know. It literally takes 5 minutes to do with doTERRA. It doesn't cost any money. There's no like hosting fee or anything like that. It's just a doTERRA website that's ready for you to send your unique URL. Here's my unique URL to any friends that you know all around the world, because we ship to over 100 countries. And your friends would land on a page exactly like this, but it would have your face and it would have a little blurby bio bit that you've written. And it can be as simple as that. Or maybe you're like, I actually want to do something in real life. I want people to come and like check out the amazing oils. This is Gabby. She's also on my team. And this is the little display table that we had at my recent event. This is the Simple Solutions kit, by the way, up front. And I was doing a special, my Wake Up Your Woo special for $145, and I would give them a bonus free oil. So I said, you can get 5 oils for the $145. So sometimes you can do little promos like that. And you might set up a little shop or go to your local market, or anything like that. So it really is doing it at the pace that works for you in a way that works for you. And then, me and Steph can, or whoever introduced you to this video can work with you to help you make that happen. So that's the end of that little businessy bit. I just want to plant a seed, and then you can go and get in touch with the person who invited you. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you at the next one. Okay, you guys don't need to suddenly